The YouTuber The One Janitor recently made a video about pop feminism, a term that I myself have used to describe the kind of modern, third wave, kind of whiny feminism that you hear about most often. And in his video, he, I would say, correctly identifies pop feminism, and he's even willing to concede that this type of feminism has become mainstream and could just be called feminism. And he goes on to just use the word feminism in reference to pop feminism. But the caveat he offers to all of this, the reason he says that it's not really a big deal, is just unbelievable.
This idea that feminism is ruining everything is just completely overblown. I mean, sometimes they're obnoxious and sometimes they're mean and sometimes they exaggerate stuff. And this is annoying to people who are trying to do intellectual feminism, but they're not actually ruining your life. It doesn't warrant a reactionary movement. I'm interested in hearing what ways people think feminism has negatively impacted the world, like in a significant, real way. And that's an honest question, because I don't see it myself.
I'd like to highlight 3 key lines of thinking that can be reasonably attributed to modern third-wave pop feminism. Listen and believe when it comes to rape accusations, censorship of triggering or insensitive ideas, and systematic intersectional conspiratorial oppression. From the world of listen and believe, look no further than universities across many countries who are more than happy to erode the rights of students accused of sexual misconduct at the request of pop feminists. This has culminated in affirmative consent policies which do shift the burden of proof entirely from the accuser to the accused. A male student was found not guilty of sexual misconduct and punished anyway. A male student was accused of rape and not allowed a lawyer, but the accuser was. A male student was raped while blacked out, and the school expelled him for being raped, because remember, it's the men who are dangerous. We've heard that all the time from pop feminism. A federal judge had to reinstate a falsely accused student after the university caved to pressures to always believe the victim, that is, the accuser. Then, of course, we have Emma Sulkowicz, infamous mattress girl, who falsely accused a student of rape, and her ongoing slander campaign against him was endorsed by their university because it promoted popular feminist ideas. She was even honored by the National Organization for Women, much like the false rape accuser Jackie in the also infamous Rolling Stone accusation. Falsely accused male student was not told the charges, was not allowed counsel, and only escaped the accusation because his mother happened to be an attorney and knew what to do. This has created an emerging trend of mothers speaking up on the behalf of their sons and other men because the mainstream, that is, social justice pop feminists, value female voices over male voices. As far as censorship goes, we can still look at universities, of course. The University of Manchester censored a debate about censorship. I wonder who wanted that. Springfield College canceled a men in literature class when 4 students complained, appealing to the idea that men face no inequalities, even though that was never proposed in the coursework. And of course, there are professors who have tried to abide by sensitive students' triggers and still managed to offend them. In terms of the intersectional oppression conspiracy, Harvard feminists wanted to abolish male-only clubs, but not female-only clubs, on the grounds of systematic female oppression. And the only men's shelter in Canada didn't receive enough funds to stay open because nobody believed that men could be victims. I wonder what ideological worldview, Duluth model, caused people to react so negatively to the idea that men can be victims. A similar reaction rose in the UK when Aaron Pitsey simply pointed out that women can be abusers. But remember, everyone,
they're not actually ruining your life.
He was frustrated not merely by the lack of services for men, but the default narrative of male as abuser. When I went into the community looking for support services, I couldn't find any. There were a lot for women, and the only programs for men were for anger management. As a victim, I was re-victimized by having these services telling me that I wasn't a victim, but I was a perpetrator. I basically tried to commit suicide because I couldn't do anything.
They're not actually ruining your life.
The many pages of written documentation that my son had put together which were directly on point about his relationship with his accuser during the time period of his alleged wrongful conduct were dismissed as somehow not relevant. What was relevant, however, according to the committee, was the unsworn testimony of witnesses deemed to have observable knowledge about the long-ago relationship between my son and his accuser.
They're not actually ruining your life.
He has gotten used to former friends crossing the street to avoid him. He has even gotten used to being denounced as a rapist on flyers and in a rally in the university's quadrangle. His name has been plastered on campus bathrooms and published in easily searchable articles. His face is visible online too, in photos that detractors have posted as warnings to strangers.
They're not actually